Wow.
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if it's even going to come through. Wait. Oh, crap. I have to hit record on Audition.
Ben Traeger, please leave all this in the YouTube edition.
Please.
All right. 1, 2. Check. Is this working? 1, 2. Let's see.
Why don't you get a sheet that you can see through?
I thought about this 2 minutes before we went on. All right. We're good. Here we go. There we go. 3, 2. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to Fantasy Football. Today, I am Adam Hazer with Frank and Jamie. I cannot see a thing. I am hot as hell. I am under a sheet. This is, happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Ghost
Halloween.
of Adam Hazer.
Yes, I am a ghost, but I am actually doing the ghost from the movie Halloween. And Michael Myers kills that dude. And then he puts the sheet over his head and he puts that guy's glasses on the sheet. And then he goes and he kills that girl. So inspired by the second best horror movie of all time. It's my costume. And now that we have the effect, I can't really breathe. So I'm done with this costume. Go ahead, guys, talk.
Frank, you look great. Tell everybody what you're wearing.
I am wearing a Snorlax costume. Huge fan of Pokemon growing up. Still kind of a fan, admittedly. So, yeah, that's what I went with today.
My kids would love that. They would absolutely love that.
Wow. Oh, my God. This is so much better. Woo.
Not for us.
Frank is, what are you, a Pokemon?
Yeah, Snorlax.
For all of you who are just listening, please go to youtube.com/fantasyfootball today and check out our spooky costumes. Jamie is a Nike sales rep.
That's right.
Yes. Looking
That's
good, bud. Looking good. All right, guys. We welcome you to the show. We got, not too much has changed about the injuries. I think we're expecting a lot of backup running backs to get some run this week with Mixon. As of now, we're recording 1:30 p.m. Mixon, probably no Aaron Jones, Mark Ingram, Miles Sanders, expecting them to be out. But Jamison Crowder's out. Rashad Perryman's out. When you factor in all the weather, who are your favorite waiver wire wide receivers now?
Well, still Brandon Ayuk, but he's not available anymore. So if you're just looking at the guys that are out there still, Scott Miller has a great opportunity in front of him. He hasn't exactly played great every time that Chris Godwin's been out, but it's still a Bruce Arians offense that he's going to see hopefully a decent amount of targets. I still would look at Rashard Higgins even with the weather conditions because there's some long-term appeal there as well. So he's somebody that I'd like to have on my team if possible. Denzel Mims with the injuries that you just said, given the likelihood of the Jets, I'm going to go on a limb, say they're chasing points against the Chiefs in Kansas City. And I still like Hunter Renfrow. I know it's going to be bad weather for the Cleveland Raiders game, but short area passes he's still going to have to throw the ball at some point, Derek Carr. And I think that Renfrow against a team that has struggled with slot receivers has a chance to make some plays this week.
Frank, are you optimistic about whoever the starting running back may be? And it might be Tevin Coleman for San Francisco, for Seattle and San Francisco in that game. Are you optimistic about any of those running backs?
Not really. I mean, the Seahawks defense, while they've been bad this season, they actually have been pretty good against the run and specifically in limiting yards per carry. They're allowing just 3.9 yards per carry to running backs on the season, 7 receptions per game. So they struggle a little bit more there, but this is a mess. I don't really know who is going to, even if Tevin Coleman starts, I still think Hasty's probably going to be involved. McKinnon could be involved. So it's a real messy situation. I think all these guys are low-end flex options at best.
Okay. Jamie, how about you? If there's one guy that you might be excited about from those two backfields, it would be?
It would be the starting San Francisco running back. I just, the Seattle situation is probably better by itself, not factoring an opponent. But the 49ers run defense is good too. And DJ Dallas, I just don't know how good he is. So I would take Cole. If I'm ranking them of the running backs in this game of the guys who I would like to see play, of the ones dealing with injuries, I would go Coleman 1, probably Dallas 2, and then McKinnon 3. And I don't want to trust Hasty if Coleman's out there.
We're assuming Hyde is out.
We're assuming Hyde is out. I mean, the fact that they signed, and this is an indication on Hyde, but they signed Alex Collins to their practice squad. So my guess is they're looking ahead to week 9 to see if Carson, who remember the initial reports were multiple weeks that he was going to be out. And then if Hyde is going to miss some time now too, they need to cover themselves because they got stuck with the situation. And let's be clear, Travis Homer can still play, so that could factor into the DJ Dallas ranking as well.
Okay. And by the way, we've pretty much gone the entire week without talking about Wayne Gallman. So just want to say his name. Looks like Devontae Freeman's not going to play. They have the Monday night game. Wayne Gallman, that's his name. So does he matter? I mean, is he a top 30 running back?
No, not for me.
Okay.
I would start both Ravens guys ahead of him, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. I would start both starting running backs in San Francisco and Seattle, whoever they may be, over him.
Agreed.
All the other replacement options, those are easy though.
Okay. Well, let's go to your questions. Apple Podcast questions. We've got Fantasy Cops coming on later. Your email is fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. We got some good Fantasy Cops questions today. Tough ones. Starter sit from Apple Podcasts. First one I don't have a name for, but it's Dear Tommy, Chucky, Angelica, Phil, and Lil.
Even I know that.
Yeah, the Rugrats. Start 3 of these wide receivers. Not all wide receivers. Start 3 of these. Shepard, Landry, Ayuk, Hasty, Coleman. Shepard, Landry, Ayuk, Hasty, Coleman.
I would go with the wide receivers.
I would go with Ayuk for sure. Shepard would be second. And then I would go with Coleman if he starts.
And if Coleman's out, would you go with Hasty or Landry?
I would go with Hasty if he's out, if Coleman's out.
This is from Titan. Ryan Tannehill or Justin Herbert?
Herbert.
I would go with Tannehill.
By the way, we keep saying if Coleman starts, but what if we don't know that? What if he's just active?
If Coleman is active, I would take him as the best 49ers running back.
Okay. From Johnny the Bull. How do you rank these for week 8 and rest of season? Brandon Ayuk, Sterling Shepard, Corey Davis, Rashard Higgins. For week 8, Ayuk, Shepard, Corey Davis, Rashard Higgins.
Ayuk, Shepard. No, this week it'd be Ayuk, Davis, Shepard, and
Rashard Higgins.
Yeah, that's the order I have them in as well.
For rest of season, it would be Ayuk, Shepard, Davis, Higgins.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Nick in Santa Cruz. I'm 2-5. I'm struggling at running back. I have Matt Ryan and Noah Fant on my bench. Is it okay to trade away Lamar and Kelsey for an upgraded running back? So he'd be starting Matt Ryan and Noah Fant. Trade Lamar and Kelsey for an upgraded running back.
I think you could probably just trade Lamar for an upgrade at running back. I would imagine you can get a top 15 running back for him. So like a solid RB2, high-end RB2. I would not want to get rid of Kelsey if Noah Fant was my only other tight end, personally.
If you can wait through this week, depending on if you started Matt Ryan or not, then I think Fant could have a good game. You could probably package Lamar and Fant and get a good running back as opposed to giving up Kelsey. But I know where Frank is coming from. It's so hard to trade quarterbacks for good running backs. Just people don't do it.
Yeah.
So you probably have to give something on top of that. But if you're making that commitment to trade Kelsey and Lamar Jackson, that's got to be top 7 or 8 running back because you're giving away the best tight end in fantasy. Obviously 1A if you want to give Kittle the nod over him, and what still is a great fantasy quarterback.
From Vic, grade the trade. Give up Josh Jacobs and Rob Gronkowski. Get Ezekiel Elliott.
Tanae.
Is it though? I'm going to say it's a C-.
I was going to say C. Like, it's just fair.
You'd rather have Zeke than Jacobs, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, looking at what the offensive line getting healthy for the Cowboys is now and what the offensive line still looks like for the Raiders.
The Raiders' offensive line is better than the Cowboys' offensive line.
Not if Looney and Martin play. It's probably close.
I would disagree with that. And plus, you'll get Incognito back.
I hope so.
You'll get Trent Brown back at some point.
I'm just concerned that that Gronk is going to become a non-factor with Antonio Brown there now.
Fine. Even if it's just a running back for a running back, who do you like better? You like Zeke better rest of the season. How about you, Frank?
Yes.
Yeah, I like Zeke better as well, but I don't think they're far off.
Okay.
The ceilings for both are not the same. If they both hit their ceilings, Zeke is fair.
From CDMO, grade the trade. Keeper PPR league. Give Antonio Brown, David Montgomery, and a 2021 fifth rounder For Keenan Allen, for Keenan Allen, Antonio Gibson, and a 2021 8th rounder.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man. That's an A.
Oh, yeah.
Ed from Hawaii. Give McCaffrey and Frank, where are you going to go on your honeymoon?
I haven't thought about it. Somewhere in the Caribbean. I want to be on a beach somewhere.
Not Hawaii?
It's too far away.
I went to Bermuda. It was an hour and a half flight.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. It was the best vacation I've ever been on. Awesome.
I was thinking about Jamaica. What do you think?
I've never been there.
Jamaica's apparently nice, from what I hear.
Yeah.
I went to Hawaii for mine. It was great.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is one of the 5 funniest movies ever made.
I actually agree with you. That's a great movie.
Yep.
Every time it's funny. Okay, sorry, Ed from Hawaii. Grade
Those
the
happy
trade.
tissues?
The whole movie. Just great. I'm going to read this in the Jason Segel Dracula voice. Give Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk and get Watson and Galladay. My current quarterback is Josh Allen. Die. Give McCaffrey and Ayuk, get Watson.
That is your best
Galladay.
impression ever.
It's getting kind of hard to believe. All right, sorry, guys. McCaffrey and Ayuk for Watson and Galladay. He still has Josh Allen.
I would rather have the McCaffrey set.
Yes. By the way, I've always wanted to have the big bowl of cereal that he has.
I get sidetracked on that movie. From Max Perrin, rest of season pick 2. Chark, Deontay Johnson, and Marquise Brown.
The first 2.
I would rank DJ Chark last of the group. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be in Jacksonville. Kind of worried there.
It can't be worse.
Why? I don't know why you say that. It definitely can be worse.
What has been good for DJ Chark with Gardner Minshew so far this season? 1 game.
Yeah, they are not.
He hates him. He hates him.
But the overall quarterback situation could be worse.
He hates him.
I'm surprised that you're putting Chark ahead of Deontay Johnson and Hollywood Brown.
No, I didn't put him ahead. I put him ahead of Marquise Brown.
Oh, okay.
You said
you went Johnson, Chark, Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. From Zach in VB, Virginia Beach.
Probably.
It's probably Zach in VT, and it's a typo. That's my guess. But Zach, hello. Grade the trade. Give Amari Cooper and get Mark Andrews. I have Tanyan at tight end.
See? I think it's kind of a wash. It's a fair deal.
Hopefully Mark Andrews picks it up.
Yeah, all right. From Phil, grade the trade. I took advice and I traded away Todd Gurley. And I got, okay, so he gave up Herbert, Gurley, Tanyan, and Ruggs. Herbert, Gurley, Tanyan, and Ruggs for Galladay, Waller, and Cup.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Wow. That's an A. That's a great haul.
Is there better than an A that we can give?
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, from Tim, 12-team, full PPR, 4-point per passing touchdown leagues. I have Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, and Miles Sanders. I have Hunter Henry and TJ Hawkinson. I want to do a 2-for-1 trade and get either Kelsey or Kittle. I know it's going to take a lot. What are you willing to give up for Kelsey and Kittle? I also have Ridley, Fuller, and DJ Moore, if that matters. But to get Kelsey or Kittle, you're not going to give up Kamara. So would a combination for you guys of Taylor or Robinson, or I wouldn't give up Miles Sanders personally, but Taylor, Robinson, Sanders, and then either Henry or Hawkinson, would that work on your end?
If you can turn Robinson, one of those tight ends, into Kelsey or Kittle, I think that's a good trade for you and probably something that the other manager would accept if they have running back issues.
I think that's a pretty fair trade.
Now, let's say the other manager rejects it and says, no, I want Jonathan Taylor and Hunter Henry for Kelsey. Would you do that?
I would, but I would do it reluctantly.
Yeah,
the fact that you have Miles Sanders helps. You know,
that schedule upcoming for Jonathan Taylor, I'm sure you guys have talked about it a ton, is phenomenal. But given the depth of running back that you have there, and elite running backs too, I think you can make that trade.
The only thing to keep in mind is you still have the Chiefs and 49ers bye weeks in front of you. And I believe, aside from Sanders, all those running backs have already passed their bye.
Yeah. From Danny-amites, like Dynamite. My 2020 Halloween team name, he has Miles Sanders, is Sanderson Sisters. I did not know what that was, but my wife was like, are you kidding? That's Hocus Pocus. So it's Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I should have known that.
Yeah.
My family they'd probably disown me for not knowing that.
From Cabo Loso. Trade Lamar Jackson. I need my glasses from the costume. Trade Lamar Jackson for Tom Brady and Ezekiel Elliott.
A+.
Yes. Do it. Smash. Accept.
From I Dropped Herbert. Should I trade Zeke or Antonio Brown in PPR? I recently picked up Brown, but I'm good at wide receiver. I'm hurting at running back with Zeke not playing well, and my current running back 2 is either Gio or Hyde. I was recently offered David Johnson, Le'Veon Bell, and Ben Roethlisberger for Zeke and Eckler. I rejected. And I countered for David Johnson, Miles Sanders, and Ben Roethlisberger. He rejected it. Should I hold on to Zeke considering he's my only solid running back? Should I try to trade Antonio Brown for a quarterback? Because all I have is Jimmy Garoppolo in a 14 league.
You started that email on Halloween and you ended on Thanksgiving.
Well, it was a delicious email. Yeah, you should trade.
What's the gist of it again, please?
Trade Antonio Brown for something. There you go. All right, from Josh Moe. Give up Josh Allen and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Get Tom Brady and George Kittle. Allen and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Brady and Kittle.
C.
Yeah, kind of seems like a wash as well. You'd have to have some really good running back depth, but again, to get the elite tight end, I understand trying to do so, but man, hope you have some good running backs outside of CEH.
All right, grade the trade from CDM. PPR Keeper League. Give Antonio Brown, David Montgomery, and a 2021 fifth round pick. I already read this email.
Yes, you did. I was waiting for you to notice.
You know what happened was you read it on Halloween, and since we
skipped
ahead, you forgot.
All right, this is a question from Bill is greater than Tom. Grade the trade. I traded Aaron Rodgers, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. I got James Robinson and Gronkowski, and I have Mahomes. So gave up Rodgers, Bell, and Brown for James Robinson and Gronkowski. I've been playing in this 10-team half PPR league for 6 years. I play with 6 of my best friends and 5 strangers that we met on a message board. The message board no longer exists. It started with www. But I do not remember the rest of the URL. Do you think if I do I'm just making all of that up. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, the trade is Aaron Rodgers, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown for James Robinson and Rob Gronkowski.
Could you imagine that in 2020, we are talking about Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Le'Veon Bell, and Aaron Rodgers still in fantasy trades?
Pretty good.
Amazing.
Pretty good. I don't know how to feel about the trade.
I'd rather have the Robinson side just because I think he's the better player.
Yeah, actually, it's an easy trade. It's an easy one. Yeah. Phil from Tennessee, grade the trade. Already read this one too. Okay. So Schrager gave me some of these, and then I added more. But
it's so easy for you to it's
not his
blame
fault.
This on Ben.
I'm not blaming him. He gave me some, and then I put in more, and then I duplicated the ones that he gave me. Man, I'm in trouble. Somebody just called the Fantasy Cops on me. 3 Fantasy Cops questions. Here we go. From Corey. Dear Marty, Jordan, Steve, and God's cousin Rod. No idea. I'm the commissioner of a fantasy league. Another manager wrote me and asked who I wanted for Antonio Brown, and I told him Travis Kelce. He said that if I wanted Kelce, I would have to get Rob Gronkowski as well. Gronkowski was on a third manager's team. So I asked him, and he has a bunch of quotes here. So you're telling me that if I find a way to get Gronk, then you'll give me Kelce for Gronk and AB? He replied, yeah, probably. I said, no, dude, I'm not going to make a deal for Gronk just for you to turn around and change your mind. He then said, quote, if you get AB and Gronk, then Kelce is all yours. So I made a deal with the third manager, and I got Gronk. I gave away Lockett and Edwards-Helaire for Jacobs and Gronk. Yikes. Then I immediately sent the second manager a trade request for Travis Kelce. He then counters and also tries to grab Nick Chubb and send me Tua. I rejected the trade and I wrote him. He reiterated saying he also wants Chubb. I told him we can try to work something out after we finalize the original deal. He responded by saying that he wants to include Chubb now because he doesn't know how else he's going to get him. Like, what? This went back and forth for a while. Now he is just ghosting me. What do I do? Or am I at fault for taking someone's word?
Unfortunately, your fault.
Yeah.
That is so lame.
That first trade is pretty bad, too.
It's pretty crappy.
Oh, it's terrible
that this happened. But I mean, it's not like you can penalize the person for changing his or her mind after saying it. You know, that's just like a bad friend situation. That's not like a bad fantasy situation.
Yeah.
It's
I'm trying to think of a comparison to like a stab in the back. It'll come to me. Okay. Jake says, my commissioner recently kicked out another team who had not been setting their lineup without notifying them first. Wow. The commissioner quickly found the new manager to take his place. The new manager made some free agency moves, including dropping Chase Edmonds as a handcuff. This was before the Sunday games and Kenyon Drake's injury. When the original manager found out that he had been kicked out several days later, he threw a fit and the commissioner reinstated him. The commissioner has now used his powers to put Chase Edmonds back on this team's roster, even though the other manager had dropped him. I don't think he should be allowed to do this. What is your take?
So the commissioner kicked the guy out without telling him.
Yeah.
Guy finds out he kicked out, comes back, and comes to find out that the replacement option that the commissioner put in his place dropped players on his roster that he would have kept.
Kenyon Drake.
No, Edmonds.
Chase Edmonds. Now he threw the fit. The commissioner brings him back and gives him Chase Edmonds back. Commissioner sucks. You have done so much harm to your league, by the way.
I'd like to know why he kicked him out without telling him.
Because he wasn't setting his lineup.
But I mean, you could be like, "Hey, dude, I'm about to kick you out." Like,
yeah,
I don't know if that's happened or not.
What do you do here? Do you give him Edmonds back?
I mean,
I wouldn't. Like, if this person wasn't even paying attention or setting their lineups anyway, why would they get so mad that someone dropped Chase Edmonds from their roster? It sounds like fantasy wasn't really a priority to them anyway.
Well, I guess we don't know why he wasn't setting his lineup. And what if he was setting a lineup? Like, what's the scenario that he's not setting his lineup? Like leaving bye week players in, injured players in?
Seemingly enough to get you kicked out of a league.
You guys are both commissioners, right?
What's that?
You guys both commission leagues, right?
Yep.
You check every lineup to make sure that the optimal lineup is being played?
No, but I do get frustrated if people leave bye week players in.
No, I don't check. But if I had a situation where somebody just wasn't playing, wasn't setting their lineup, it would bother me for sure.
But that's not. I don't want to put it on the fantasy manager because he was kicked out unknowingly.
Yeah, I would not give him Edmonds back because
it's not his fault that he lost Edmonds.
But it is his fault that he wasn't paying attention to the league or setting his lineup.
Yeah, he didn't even know he got kicked out until days later.
Yeah, like that's
I'm
kind of crazy.
Give this guy Edmonds back.
But he I mean, why would he? I don't know. I just think it's not on him that he loses players on his roster. I think either what has to happen is he gets Edmonds back or he's kicked out for the rest of the season, and the other guy's got to deal with the consequences of playing it out without Chase Edmonds.
Okay,
kick him out.
I respect that, Commissioner. You really fouled this one.
Really,
up.
The commissioner is the one that messed this whole thing up.
Absolutely. All right, one more from Ryan. Aloha from Maui. Frank, you ever been to Maui? Just kidding.
No.
Monday morning, another manager and I made a trade of Chris Godwin. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one. Chris Godwin for James Conner. The other manager tried to accept the trade, but it would not let him because the players had already played, and it makes you wait until Tuesday. So he sends me this text. Consider it accepted. It'll just be official tomorrow. Trade is official in my eyes.
Oh, no.
Come Tuesday, yep. Come Tuesday, word breaks that Chris Godwin broke his finger. Other manager denies the trade. Commish says it's not his problem. I also play the commissioner this week, and I have no running backs. I can see both sides. Should that trade be official? Please help. Aloha.
So if this was a real trade in a sports league, Chris Godwin would be sent back to his team.
Yep.
Because he would fail physical.
Right.
So I'm going to go by those rules and abide by trade nullified.
That's exactly what I thought too.
It's not a real sports league. It's a fantasy league. As long as we have proof that this person said that they were going to accept the trade, I think it should go through.
That's another.
All right, well, then go back to the previous one with the Gronk Antonio Brown thing. Why is that not? Why are we saying that one shouldn't go through?
What happened?
With the Gronk, you make this trade, I'll give you Gronk, whatever Antonio Brown thing. There's documentation.
Right. It's very similar. Frank, you have any rebuttal?
I plead the fifth.
Well, because one
Frank
is like
is
someone. I think that when an injury happens, it's a little different. You know,
the league would not allow the trade to happen. They agreed to it in principle. Then you get more information before the trade goes through.
But this is because of like a technicality in fantasy where you can't accept a trade while the games are going on. So
Well, you can't do it. I mean, as far as I know, you can't make trades in the middle of an NFL game too. You agree in principle.
In a baseball game. Oh, yeah, I agree in principle. I think.
I don't think it's the same exact situation.
I'm going to say I side with Frank and I accept the trade. It needs to go through. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Fantasy cops were very split today. You will need the fantasy FBI to crack these cases. Thank you so much for your questions, ladies and gentlemen.
Good news. Dalvin Cook off the injury report.
I say start him. Can we please tell Heath to put Dalvin Cook ahead of David Montgomery in his rankings? Oh. Wait, hold on. I have that sound effect too. Heath. Wait, where are all my Heath size? Where are your... Why? Hey, Heath, why do you have Dalvin Cook behind David Montgomery? What do you mean by that?
I'm going to do this. The next show I'm on with Heath is what, Thursday? I only do one show with Heath a week?
I'm going to text him.
I'm going to count how many times he says yeah before every answer.
Okay, let's text Heath.
What do you think the over-under is going to be?
6.
Oh, way over.
I haven't noticed that. I guess I have to pay attention to it.
How come you have
David All right, Frank, ask me a question. I'm going to pretend I'm Heath.
Ranked ahead of
Jamie, why don't you have Dalvin Cook ahead of David Montgomery in your rankings?
Yeah, I think that Dalvin Cook coming back is going to have a little bit of rust. He's going to struggle a little bit. Team stinks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he does. I'm sorry. I'm trying to text him and it deleted my entire text. Okay, we'll find out. We're going to take a break. When we come back, hopefully we'll find out why Heath is crazy. There you go. We'll be right back. Email address is fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. By the way, for those of you who are not doing this, there's probably maybe one or two of you. It's not EYE. It's the letter I. Every now and then, people are like, oh, really? CBSI as an interactive. Fantasyfootball@cbsi.com. Haven't heard back from Heath yet. Rest of season emails from Brandon in a city in Texas north of San Antonio. And then he tells us it's Fort Worth, so I'm going to go with that. Half PPR, give Lamar Jackson and David Johnson. Get Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor. Did we already do this one or no?
No.
Okay. Lamar and David Johnson for Brady and Jonathan Taylor. Interesting.
I like this trade. I think it's a B.
I'd rather have Brady and Jonathan Taylor, so yeah.
Ryan from a town north of Georgia. Hoboken. 16-team non-PPR league. I was offered Jonathan Taylor for Antonio Brown.
What's wrong with Hoboken, Adam?
Great. You have something against Hoboken? Yeah, you're definitely taking Jonathan Taylor for Antonio Brown. That is an A. Especially in a non-PPR league. Oh my. From Daniel Hernandez. Trade away Jonathan Taylor. Get Kenny Golladay.
Ooh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Very good players. I'll say C.
Yeah, that seems fair.
From Matthew, give up Fuller, Hawkinson, and Jamal Williams. Fuller, Hawkinson, and Jamal Williams for Nick Chubb and Brandon Cooks. That's pretty interesting.
I mean, Fuller and Cooks has basically been a wash for the last 3 weeks, right?
More or less, yeah. And so Jamal Williams. So you're giving away Jamal Williams and you're getting Nick Chubb.
Right.
Which
I'd
is
rather have the Cooks Chubb side.
Yeah, I think so. You are giving also away TJ Hawkinson, but I think
I would not be surprised if one of Fuller or Cooks is traded in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's going to be really interesting over the next few days.
And Kittle is his tight end, so he can give up Hawkinson. That's such a great idea. If you have two tight ends and you feel good about one of them, starting them every week, get rid of the other guy.
I have a situation coming up in one league where I play both Kelsey and Waller because we play two flexes. And I've been sitting on, it's about to be uncomfortable because he's going to stand up soon, but Dallas Goedert. But I'm stashing Dallas Goedert, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
We all seem pretty confident in Dallas Goedert. Right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as Ertz is out.
I have seen the Eagles, yeah. But Ertz is not out for the rest of the season.
He may be out for the rest of the fantasy season.
He may be back in like 3 weeks. Oh, he texted me back. Oh, okay. I moved Cook down a few spots from his projection because of re-injury / workload risk. Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool, dog. All right. Next one is from Jeff from Ottawa. Hey, Steve, Eddie, Carl, Waldo, and Stefan. Frank, you know that one? Steve, Eddie, Carl, Waldo, and Stefan?
No.
Jamie?
No.
Really? Family Matters.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, come on now. Grade the trade, 12-team PPR. Give up.
You got to have a good Urkel impression.
Do I have that? No, I don't. 12-team PPR. Give up Chase Edmonds and Chase Claypool. Get Kareem Hunt.
Hey.
That's a pretty damn good trade. I think even when Chubb is back, Hunt is going to have a similar workload as he did earlier in the season, maybe even more.
From Tom, should I trade James Conner and Myles Gaskin to get Zeke and Hunter Henry? James Conner and Myles Gaskin for Zeke and Henry, non-PPR. I have Evan Ingram. So he needs a tight end upgrade.
I think you could do better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, me too. All right, starter sit question from Curtis. Full PPR, Jonathan Taylor or Zeke this week?
Taylor.
I agree.
Okay, from Matt. Juju or Amari Cooper?
Rest of season?
No, this week.
Cooper, and I don't like Cooper that much.
Yeah, I have Cooper a few spots higher.
Pick 2, half PPR. Ronald Jones, Boston Scott, Travis Fulgham.
The Eagles, baby.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, from Chase in Boston. Sit one of these non-PPR league. David Montgomery, Myles Gaskin, Darrell Henderson, Melvin Gordon.
Montgomery.
Did we get an update on Philip Lindsay?
He did not practice on Thursday. I don't know what's happening. I don't think they're practicing on Friday because of the COVID situation. So we may not get a full update, but he just has to pass the concussion protocol.
Yeah, if Philip Lindsay plays, I would bench Melvin Gordon. If Philip Lindsay is out, I would bench Montgomery.
You would play Montgomery over Gordon. I can't trust Montgomery.
I hear you, but it's a tough matchup. But I also think if Philip Lindsay plays, we're probably looking at like 12 to 15 touches for Gordon.
15
Maybe.
I'd take. That would be nice. From Austin, Swift, Marquise Brown, Jermichael Hasty. Pick one.
Swift.
From half PPR, I don't know who sent this in. Deontay Johnson or Robert Woods?
Woods, reluctantly.
Yeah, they're really close.
Justin Jackson or J.K. Dobbins?
Dobbins.
I'm going to take a chance on Dobbins.
Dear Eddie, Stone, Mike, Matt, and Jeff. Frank, I feel like you would know this. Eddie, Stone, Mike, Matt, and Jeff. This is a band, a music group.
I don't know.
It's Pearl Jam. Is that what you said, Jamie?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I only go 2 places with Eddie, and it's Van Halen and better.
It's 6-1 team in a 14-team league with only 4 bench spots, and these are the players that are currently on his bench. And this is Ronan from Ireland.
Great name.
Yeah. Gibson, Watson, Cooks, Robinson. They're all on a bye. Gibson, Watson, Cooks, and Robinson. And he also has Chris Carson, who probably won't play. So if Carson does not suit up, do I not play a kicker to pick up somebody from the waiver wire? Or do I drop one of Gibson, Watson, Cooks, or Robinson and then use my fab and get them back next week?
Don't use a kicker. Well, I guess it's contingent on what your record is. Because I'm
6-1. 6-1.
Yeah, don't play the kicker and just take your chances. If you lose, you lose. I'm in a situation like that myself where I'm 6-1. I don't have Hopkins, Fuller, Godwin are the only 3 receivers on my team. It's the team I just referenced previously with the 2 tight ends. I don't have a flex right now or 2 wide receivers. And I have on my bench Gibson, Edmonds, those 3 receivers. I'm stuck. So I'm just going to take the L if I have to.
Yeah, especially at 6-1.
Wish I were playing you.
Can't drop those guys.
Yeah. All right, from Scott, Deontay Johnson or Rashard Higgins?
Johnson.
Yeah.
From listener Chris, 12-team half PPR, Lamar Jackson or Joseph Burrow?
Jackson. I'm tempted to say Burrow.
I have Burrow just ahead of Jackson. I have Jackson at QB 8 this week.
From Ben, 6
The
point.
weather could be so bad, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. 6 point per passing touchdown league, Wentz or Lamar Jackson?
Wentz.
I have Wentz 1 spot higher.
So what do you, Frank? What do you, Burrow, Wentz, Jackson?
Yep, 6, 7, 8. Burrow, Wentz, Jackson.
Why was 6 afraid of 7, Frank?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Happy Halloween, everybody. All right, everybody enjoy yourselves today. Get some good candy. Be safe out there. We will talk to you Sunday with CBS.
Do it again. Do Jason Segel again.
It's getting kind of hard to believe things are going to get better. And I've been living too hard to believe. Yeah, that was always...
That is your best one.
I lost it. The first time I saw that and he sang that song, I lost it. It is comic gold. What a movie.
That is your best impression.
Frank,
what's your best impression?
I don't know. Chris Towers? Guys, I really think Hollywood Brown is going to be better than Antonio Brown.
Yeah, and then your cat would jump on your keyboard. Something like that. All right, everybody. We will talk to you later. Talk to you on Sunday on Twitch at noon Eastern, CBS Sports HQ at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll have the recap podcast at night. Oh, and Fantasy Football Today at 5. Subscribe to that later.
Want more of the Fantasy Football Today podcast and nonstop year-round fantasy advice? It's simple. Hit the subscribe button and hang with us all throughout the year.